recording. I want to give people the link. All right, boom, boom.
Oh,
You know what I want to do? I gotta open the chat. Okay. So we're live. Let me just get the deals here. WordPad. Okay. This should be good enough. So we are here to talk about the World Wrestling Federation Unforgiven 2001 pay-per-view, 20th anniversary. This show aired on September 23rd, 2001. Um, the show opened with, what was the singer's name? Do you remember her name?
I don't remember her name though.
What the hell is this? There's something about a suplex, and Wikipedia took me to like a suplex Wikipedia. Unforgiven was the fourth Unforgiven professional wrestling pay-per-view event produced by the World Wrestling Federation. Took place September 23rd, the Mellon Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It was the final Unforgiven event under the WWF name, as a promotion was renamed to World Wrestling Entertainment in May of 2001. 2002, I'm sorry. May of 2002. Background.
So Jennifer Holliday was the singer.
Jennifer Holliday was the singer, sang America the Beautiful. This pay-per-view was 12 days after the 9/11 attacks on America. Jesus is in the chat room. How you doing?
Yo yo.
M3 TV's YouTube channel. Subscribe to Rock Solid Wrestling Talk, featuring Jesus and the buddies over there.
Hell yeah.
Subscribe if you want weekly wrestling news. We're just recapping anniversary shows. But also like a flying head monster from Doom, right? I got the somebody told me to put masks on them, and I got that. I'll show that at the end though. Jennifer Holliday opened the pay-per-view with America the Beautiful. Then the show opened with the following matches. Let's just talk about Sunday Night Heat. We didn't watch that because I have it somewhere. It's on Jeff's hard drive, which I'm still working on, so I wasn't gonna pull it off of there. But
Yeah, but
on WWF Sunday Night Heat, it was Billy Gunn who defeated Tommy Dreamer in a singles match. No one gives a shit. So the pay per view kicked off with the Dudley Boys tag team elimination match. Uh, Dudley Boys were the WWF champions, and they were going up against the Big Show, Spike Dudley, Hurricane and Lance Storm, and the Hardy Boys in a fatal four-way. I'm sorry, in a WWF four-way elimination match for the tag team titles. So, yeah, this was pretty much what you expected. The Dudleys went crazy on everybody. It was a pretty good tag team match.
yeah.
Spike Dudley got on top of the Big Show at one point, jumped off of him into a bunch of guys. And then the Big Show teased he was going to jump off the top rope. And everyone out there waited for him like he was going to do it. And then I think, what was it, Bubba Ray jumped in and beat him up?
Yeah, Bubba jumped in. You know, they both took Bubba and Devon. They both took him off the turnbuckle. Took him out of the match. And Spike. I don't remember what happened, but I know Spike took the pin. Pretty much after that, because since Big Show was out of the picture, so that's pretty much how that went. So yeah, left pretty much left the other three teams in there: Dudley's, Hurricane, Storm, and Hardys in that match. So you want to go through the rest of that?
I mean, what was it? It was just elimination. I don't have the elimination. I didn't take notes during the show, so I'm pulling it off
Yeah.
wiki. But basically,
So
yeah, go
it
ahead.
basically the final four were the Hardys and the Dudleys. Teasing, the whole feud that's been going on the whole 2001 since the infamous
The ladder match.
TLC matches. Yeah, the ladder matches, WrestleMania. Um, they were just continuing that whole feud. There was no other really big tag teams at that time. At this time, Edge and Christian, they were split off. We'll get to that later. Um, uh, Spike and Big Show were kind of an odd pairing. That was like the
Yeah,
little
they
odd
did that on
pairing.
purpose because one guy was huge and one guy was small.
Yeah, and Spike was going to take the pin. They weren't going to clean pin the Big Show, so that was a good way to kind of get him out without
Spike had a
getting
pretty good
interfered.
showing though.
Yeah,
He's the
Spike.
giant killer.
Yeah, Spike. He had a lot of big spots. A match like this was pretty chaotic. There were a couple of spots where they messed up, but they kind of brought it back a little bit. You could kind of see where they messed up, but
Right.
um, they saved it in the end. It wasn't like a complete just like they blew a spot. Like if they blew the spot, they were able to improvise into it. So it still looked like just sick. You just had everybody flying all over the place, like you were saying. Um, pretty good opener.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed
Dudley's
it.
retained.
Thought it was good. Dudley's retained. The heels are part of the ECW WCW alliance, and there you go. Uh, then we cut to I didn't write backstage stuff down, so we might go out of order on some of this stuff. Then we cut to Rob Van Dam and Stephanie McMahon, who um she wants to like manage him, and he's like, no, I just need a bigger dressing room, and she's like, take whatever dressing room you want, blah 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 blah. Then we cut to the Perry Saturn versus Raven match, where they cut back to a segment where I guess Raven wood chopped
Mcmahon.
Moppy. So yeah, this match was a basic match, nothing too crazy.
they
Saturn defeated Raven, obviously.
Yeah, they harken back to a lot of their stuff from the past, ECW, WCW. They mentioned Raven's flock and all that.
Yeah, it's funny
But
because JR is talking about the flock from WCW,
right,
and Heyman was like, "Oh, and you know who ruined the flock? It was Saturn." And he goes, "Oh, I don't know, Paul." He goes, "I actually watched Nitro." And JR just goes, "Well, I was working on Mondays." Like they just had like a back and forth like that.
yeah, it was a pretty fun back and forth all night with Jr. and Paul. They were good together. He was a good substitute for King, and back in the day, if you watched WCW, they were the commentators on there, so it was kind of cool to see them now in the Attitude Era just bickering back and forth with each other.
It made sense. It made a lot more sense.
Yeah,
I think
and
they
it was
were.
it
I
was
think they were looking to get rid of the King. I think they
yeah.
knew Heyman was coming in, and I think Vince just like had enough of the King. He was like, we don't need him right now. Because how come right after all the invasion stuff, they bring him right back in? Come on.
Right.
And I was
I
following all that in the summer of 2001 when that drama was going on. I was following all that online.
When did he come back? When did King come back?
It came back right the night after Survivor Series, which we're going to cover in a couple of months.
Gotcha.
But what
That's pretty
happened
good.
was they fired the wife. He said, I'm not going back without the wife. They came to some sort of an agreement where King and Scott Hudson were going to be the WCW announced team, and they were going to bring back the wife. Then Vince decided, no, we're not doing that after all. So that fell apart. That's why Arn Anderson came out with Scott Hudson for WCW.
Yeah.
And then the wife cheated on him. The summer of 2001, she took off and cheated on him. Locked him out of the house. I think they had a
He went
house
to
in
the
Florida or something. She
yeah.
changed the locks on him, and that was it.
Then he went to the XWF.
Well, then he came back home. He came back to the
He came
WWF
back. Yeah.
because Lawler went to Simper House and say Jesus.
Seriously.
Dude, you have no idea what was going on with that. Literally,
Yo, they gotta do it.
his wife left him and he wrote on his website, like, please come home. I don't know what's going on. He wrote that on his fucking website.
Yeah.
And then a picture got out, which kind of solidified, okay, I'm divorcing this woman. And there you go. So there you go. That was that. And then he came back to the WWF and he's been there ever since. He's been there for 20 years. Straight. Anyway, enough of that. So yeah, this match was
Average man.
average match. These guys, at some point, I think Saturn fucked up a few spots. He was probably coked out, and he won because Vince fucking hates Raven. So there you go.
Yeah.
Then we had Christian, who defeated Edge in the singles match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. What? Did Christian win the title here? I don't remember that.
Yeah, he basically was a fuck finish, you know.
I thought it was just Edge versus Christian. I didn't realize it was for the belt.
Yeah,
I wasn't paying attention too much to this one.
You know, all the promos leading up to it, you know, watching the promo package, you know, Christian he was pissed off. He was getting all the attention. He won the King of the Ring that year. Edge won, you know, the Intercontinental.
I was there when he got the King of the Ring. I was there for the Stanley Cup that they gave him at the Garden. I was at that show. That was the show that WCW invaded Madison Square Garden. Really quick though, going back to the Saturn match. Saturn cut his eye.
Oh yeah, and this will be the theme through the whole show.
Be a theme to the entire show. Now let's go to Edge and Christian.
Edge and Christian, yeah, again, so the whole promo package leading up to it, they show the feud, they show where it started, you know, last month's pay per view. Basically, you know, it all led up to this. It was like Christian was fed up, and he's just like, you know what, I want your heart. Not only do I, you know, want to kick your ass, I want the hardcore.
And he debuted the Christian song.
Intercontinental belt, yeah, the Christian with the fucking the church choir.
Yeah, I don't know if they're fucking singing Italian. I don't know what the fuck they're singing.
Yeah, it's some Italian shit or something. I don't know.
So stupid.
It's because his name's Christian, I guess, and they kind of wanted like a weird religious kind of tie.
Yeah, but as he's walking to the ring, he's going Christian, like he's actually doing the thing with his hand, and he's saying it. You could see him lipping it.
Yeah. So
Edge comes out to the Rob Zombie music, which I was like, didn't this fucking guy get the music in 2002? But then they promoted the album on the screen, and I was like, okay. Like they had Heyman talking about it, and I was like, all right. I guess it was 2001 he got the music.
Yeah. Like, fuck Altered Bridges or whatever the fuck their name is, Metalingus fucking song. I don't give a fuck about that song, okay? This song was Edge's best song. I fucking hated it when he changed it, but, I mean, hey, whatever, you know. But yeah, any stuff you got to say about the match itself?
It was good. I think it went on, might have went a little too long, man. This match was 11 minutes and 53 seconds.
Yeah, it was pretty long for the IC belt. This is like the third match on the card, too.
Yeah.
I guess they just wanted to kind of kick off that feud, too. You know, just because they were kind of pushing them, you know, with the tag belts, and they were kind of like the featured tag team other than the Hardys. Now that they're out of the picture, now it's like they're both singles guys, and it's like, well, that leaves less tag team people.
Well, they were building Edge into a star, and that would go into the whole brand split a few months after this. So, I mean, they were pushing him as a superstar. And Christian, I guess they were trying to push Christian in some direction. We don't know what direction that was, but they never figured it out with him. They didn't figure it out with this guy for another 10 years when he left and came back. And they still didn't know what the fuck to do with him. And then 10 years later, now he's in a different company. So there you go. Every 10 years, they try to figure out Christian. The guy will be 75 years old by the time they get it. So yes, Christian won the Intercontinental Championship, and that was that. So then we get the Undertaker and Cain backstage with Coach. And they cut some fucking promo, and he's like talking about Steven Richards and getting rid of the RTC. He's like, I don't know why he's blaming me. Whatever. So then we get the Brothers of Destruction, Cain and the Undertaker, who are the WWF Tag Team Champions. Or no, they're the WCW Tag Team Champions. Going up against Chronic from WCW, Brian Adams and Brian Clark, with Steven Richards. They're part of the Alliance, which they would be part of the Alliance for one show. Yeah, Undertaker and Kane defeated them. Now, this match, I think, was the match that got them fired. Chronic.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match, but a lot of Brian Clark was blowing a lot of spots, to be honest with you, and like he was being like he really like connected on a lot of like whenever he did like a boot I think to like Kane, and you could kind of hear his foot just like smack into his mask, and
Oh,
like he was working pretty stiff. Brian Clark, he worked with Kane, he's worked with Undertaker, he's a little bit more, or sorry, Brian Adams.
whoever the fuck Adam Bomb was, I know he had a relationship with Undertaker, and that's why they got in. They got in this pay-per-view, but it just didn't work out.
No, it was weird. I don't know.
I was watching WCW at the end, and these guys were like one of the top tag teams there.
Yeah.
So when I saw them fighting Undertaker and Kane, I was like, all right, cool. Like, but it's like they didn't give these guys a chance, man. They didn't give Bagwell, they didn't give fucking Chronic, they didn't give these guys a chance to like do anything. They didn't give them a chance to get better. Like, oh yeah, they come in like that, we don't want them.
And this is Crush's like fucking fifth time with the damn company. Like he's there in '89. He fucking left in like 93, 94, came back in like 95, left again, fucking came back in like 96.
But they didn't give these guys a chance to get better. They just like, hey,
No.
you suck, get out of here.
Yeah, it was just it really sucks because you literally after this never saw them again.
No, that was it. And didn't you say one of them's dead now?
Yeah, Crush. Unfortunately, 2007. I think the same year as Test, he passed away. The same, he passed away, and I remember seeing it in the papers and everything. They kind of made it a big deal.
Yeah, that sucks, man. It sucks.
But,
These guys never got a good shot in the WWF.
Yeah, Brian. Everybody remember Brian Clark for being Adam Bomb and Wrath and all that. But it was a good program in WCW when they had him and Ernest the Cat Miller and Glacier do that fucking martial arts, my Mortal Kombat fucking thing. But
Remember Glacier sold his armor?
yeah, he sold his fucking armor. Remember Glacier came back a week later and then fucking they went out of business.
No, his promos were airing, and then they went out of business. So he was coming back. He was making a comeback.
Because I thought he was on Thunder. He like showed up on Thunder and then left, and then next week was literally the final Nitro or something.
I don't fucking know. All I remember was they're playing those Sub-Zero-esque promos again, where you just saw his eyes and it says a storm is coming or whatever the fuck they wrote.
Yeah, but matches nothing really too big to talk about. Like I said,
What did you see wrong with this match? Because as a fan, I'm watching it. I didn't really see anything too crazy. I know the match was a lot slower than Undertaker and Kane matches. Yeah. But again, these guys are coming from WCW where they wrestle differently.
Yeah, I guess they were trying to get accustomed to WWE style. Because you can kind of tell, because I remember Brian Clark, he goes to do that top rope kick he used to do. And he kind of does it, but he does it really like lazily. Like he doesn't even try to make it look good. It looked really bad. He just kind of steps up and then does a spin kick and just fucking, it's crazy. It was a lot of times where they hit each other and they kind of miss too. Like they come within inches of each other, they barely connect type thing.
I don't know, man. I think they should have given them another chance.
Yeah.
Especially they needed all the fucking guys they could get at that point to fill out the WCW side.
Yeah, and they were running out of tag teams. Like, who did you have as a tag? Like, they were literally doing the makeshift tag team thing. Like, this is kind of the start of like the downfall of the tag division, basically. Because all you had were the Hardys, the Dudleys. You had Cain tag, but like, come on, you really think Cain tag gonna win the fucking belts or anything like that? They really didn't have anybody back then. It It was Edge and Christian,
Right.
the Hardys, and the Dudleys, and they were holding it down.
Well, Edge and Christian were fucking feuding with each other, so that was already out the
Yeah,
window.
so there goes one team. So now you just got the two guys, and then whoever else they decide, to put together. So it sucks that they didn't. I really do think they should have given them one more chance because,
Yeah.
like, I used to watch. My uncle, he had all the Japanese tapes and stuff, and literally the next year or this year, they Chronic was in the All Japan Tag League or whatever, and they were doing really good. They made it to the finals and everything. They pushed them really good out there, and they did really well.
They were good. They were good in WCW. I don't know.
Yeah,
They had the whole
no,
fucking what was that thing called? The H bomb, their finisher, where they would double chokeslam the guy.
Yeah, yeah. It just sucks, They really, like you said, they didn't get the chance they kind of deserved. It was kind of like, okay, you got one chance, and then literally McMahon was just like, yeah.
Yeah, he did that with Bagwell. And he blamed everything on the Booker T match. They blamed everything on the two of them.
Yeah, which.
But they needed Booker T because they had plans for him. Bagwell, they didn't have any plans for that guy, unfortunately.
That match wasn't bad. It was just the crowd.
It was the crowd. You're wrestling in front of a non-WWF crowd, and what do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna boo the shit out of it.
Yeah, they had a good match. They just weren't in front of the right.
If they would have waited a week or two when they were in Atlanta, it would have been a totally different story.
Yeah, it would have been like.
But they didn't want to give. They didn't want to, even though they owned it. They didn't want to give those guys any credit. They never wanted to do that fucking.
Momentum.
They're full of shit. They didn't want to do that show.
Bagwell too. I wish they could have given Bagwell a better chance.
Man. Yeah, me too. I mean, the guy was on one fucking Raw, and he was on what was it, SmackDown? They threw him out of the building on SmackDown. That was legit. They threw him out. He was done.
They scuffed Bagwell for fucking Hurricane because of Hurricane, basically.
Well, Bagwell's always got problems wherever he goes. But you could have given the guy a little bit more of it. Just use the guy till the end of the invasion, then get rid of him.
Yeah, at least give him some time. Something, but whatever.
Then you had Rob Van Dam. You had Stephanie ask Coach where Rob Van Dam's dressing room was. Coach says, I think it's dressing room 5. She goes down to 5, talks through the door about how much she wants him to beat Chris Jericho, and then Jericho shows up right behind her, says hello. She says it's her 25th birthday today, which that would mean today she's 45 years old. And he said some nasty shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, stuff that would get him canceled today.
Yeah.
Said, I wish you the breast of wishes, or
the breast of wishes.
And then fucking, like, JR repeated it on commentary, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? These guys are gonna get fucking canceled now. If anybody watches this shit.
Stephanie was just making it seem like
she said that I'm 25 years old. He goes, I asked how old you were. He goes, what are you, 38? And she goes, I'm 25. He goes, I didn't ask how many guys you were with today. I asked how old you were.
Oh, man.
He said she was 38. That was funny.
That was hilarious. But still.
So then we had Rob Van Dam, the hardcore champion. He defeated Chris Jericho. It was a hardcore championship match. It was 16 minutes and 33 seconds.
This was probably one of the most important fucking...
It was a really good match.
Yeah. Like, this made the hardcore fucking title feel like the WWE title. Like,
yeah, but these guys... Remember when Van Dam came back like 10 years ago against Jericho and they put on a really good match? And everyone was like shocked. It's like, well, yeah, watch this match. They beat the fuck out of each other in this match.
They beat the hell out of each other.
They did all their moves. They were in sync 100% of the time, these two.
I mean, these were two ECW guys. They're gonna work the ECW style in front of this crowd, in Pittsburgh and everything. They're gonna try and like really get that magic back, and they fucking beat the crap out of each other. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention fucking Edge got his fucking eye fucking...
Right, we have to go back to that, man. So then, okay, so Saturn's eye fucking got cut. Edge's eye got cut.
And then who in this match, somebody's eye got cut. I think it was fucking Jericho got kicked in the face or something.
I think Jericho's eye was cut.
It wasn't cut, but like you could see like a big ass mark on his face where I think RVD did a fucking.
He kicked him in the face, probably. So you got already 3 eye shots. Let's just say that. During it's not over. It's not over at all.
Everybody's fucking.
So they had a great match. I enjoyed it. It was great.
Look this match up if you haven't seen it. Definitely, Unforgiven 2001, Chris Jericho versus RVD. This was like the match that if you hadn't seen RVD before WWE, this was a match that made you an RVD fan.
So then we cut backstage of Booker T and Shane McMahon. They're both going for the WCW title against The Rock, who's the champion. And when they agree, hey, let's just beat him. It doesn't matter who wins the title. Then Booker walks out. Shane thinks to himself, what if I am the WCW champion?
Yeah.
But before that, there was a segment with these two where it shows Booker T's hand. It's got like fucking, I don't know, pimples and shit all over his hand. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy's hand?
He's got really muscular hands.
Dude, there was like warts and zits and pimples all over his fucking hands. I was like, what the hell happened to this guy's hand?
Yeah,
So then we go to The Rock, the WCW champion, defending against Booker T and Shane McMahon, the Alliance, who defeated both of them in a handicap match for the WCW championship.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good.
Yeah, this was a great match. Rock, Booker T. Yeah, Shane really didn't, Shane had his little high spots here and there. He had the spot where he thought he was going to get the Rock on the table. He reverses it. Rock fucking takes him out, takes Booker T out.
Right.
Like, the Rock was, like, fighting for his life in this match almost. It, like, made Shane fucking almost, like, kind of serious in this match because Rock's got to worry about Booker T, but then you got fucking Shane coming out from the corner trying to, lay it into Rock, and he had some pretty good, one-on-one little spots against the Rock.
I think Booker T and The Rock work well together.
Yeah, they do. And kind of adding Shane into the mix, it kind of made it a little bit more like unpredictable too.
Well, they want to put the stress on the good guy. They'll see how the good guy's going to come out of this.
The Rock would take him out, and then Booker T would just come in, beat the crap out of Rock or whatever, and then Rock would just get the upper hand, and the way the Rock would get the upper hand would be cool because that's when Shane would come in, kind of be the guy, be like, all right, boom, he takes him out. Then Booker T. Booker T. I can't speak English today. Booker T would try to come in, and then Rock gets the upper hand. The back and forth was really good in this match. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. So, really, really good. Really fun title match.
Good match. I don't even know how it ended. Who pinned who? I mean, The Rock obviously won, but
I think Rock hit him with the rock bottom, basically, end the match.
Yeah, because Shane was out. All right, so I think Nick Patrick was the ref, and he kept fucking up the match, and then Kyoto ran out, beat the fuck out of Nick Patrick. Something happened, and then Kyoto pulled out. I think Kyoto thought he was pulling out Nick Patrick, but he pulled out Shane McMahon. Kyoto.
Yeah. But, I mean, it made sense because Kyoto's the WWF guy. Shane's technically on the invasion side. He pulls him off so he doesn't win the belt.
I think, but they were both wearing white shirts, so I think Kyoto thought he was pulling out Patrick. I don't know.
I think either way it worked.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense. But
and then Hebner ran down, and he counted The Rock on the 3. And that was it.
Yeah. Mike Kyoto fucking just knocked the he almost, he hits Nick with the fucking, like, forearm out of the ring, basically, and, like, he gets caught in the ropes trying to, like, kind of bail out of the ring, and it's like his arm almost got fucking ripped off because he, like, twisted his arm. But then, like, it was weird. He, like, almost fucking seriously hurt himself. But
we got Richard in the live chat room right here.
Just a really wild finish, really wild card finish. Rock, catches Booker T off guard with, the rock bottom, which similar to the bookend, which they were teasing the bookend the whole night.
Oh God, it's been doing the bookend longer than The Rock.
Yeah, they always made it.
Fucking JR said it was a bootleg version of The Rock, but I'm like, come on, man. I know he's a heel, but come on, don't lie to people.
Yeah.
After this, we had a weird match. Rhino versus Tajiri for the WCW United States title. Tajiri was the champion. Rhino defeated him for the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just a sudden
basic fucking match.
ECW match for the WCW title. Um, just
Who would have thought
not
that,
much.
huh?
How long was the last match, by the way? The title match.
The Booker match was 15 minutes and 24 seconds. This match was 4 minutes and 50 seconds. This was
Yeah.
the shortest match on the show besides the Tommy Dreamer Billy Gunn Heat match.
Yeah. It was a good like fast paced kind of match. It was there to kind of like slow it
Tori
down.
Wilson jumped in the ring, tried to help Tajiri. She stumbled on her high heels in the ring, pretended like she was hurt. Rhino was looking to gore her, and then Tajiri like jumped in the way or some
Oh,
shit.
he did a buzzsaw kick that was like
Right.
fucking crazy. As he pushes Tori, he comes, he does the kick like right on the fucking top of his head. Like that was a crazy spot. That was a really cool spot. Just a quick, fast paced match. You know, nothing crazy. I mean, they're going into the world title match, so you know the WWF title match. They're gonna give that the most time.
Oh yeah, and before this match, they showed William Regal, Tori Wilson saying she's with Tajiri now, and can she go to the ring with him? And Regal had to
Yeah.
think about it, and then he let her go. Then they cut to Stacy Keibler at WWF New York, and she's hosting over there live or whatever. Then they cut to a video of her shaving her fucking legs in a bathtub. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I knew it was Attitude Era, but I don't remember that shit.
Yeah.
She's shaving her fucking legs. They're showing the razor, shave her legs. I'm like, what is this? This is not attractive. This is just weird and nasty. And then
So
Heyman's like, I would marry her. And JR's like, oh, so you would get prenup. And he goes, only if she's Jewish. And I'm like, whoa, man.
I mean,
Yo, it was a
Paul's
different
Jewish,
time,
so
right?
I mean, Paul's Jewish, so he gets away with it. But it's like at the same time, it's like, oh, kind of. You look back on it, it's kind of like a weird thing to say.
I don't know, man. Anyway, Rhino defeated Tajiri for the U.S. title, and nobody gave a shit.
Nobody's eyes bled in these last two matches.
No.
The main
No,
event.
no, in the main event, Kurt Angle defeated the WWF champion Stone Cold Steve Austin by submission in the singles match for the WWF championship, 23 minutes and 54 seconds. These guys beat the fuck out of each other. Angle started off by beating the shit out of Austin for the first, I don't know, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Then Austin came back, started beating the fuck out of him for half the match. Then they were just going at it, back and forth.
Yeah.
And was it? Puts Austin in the ankle lock, and that's it. It's over. Austin taps out.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle's family jumps in the ring. They celebrate. Mr. USA wins to make the people feel good, and that's pretty much it. And he would lose the title 2 weeks later.
Yeah, they are in Pittsburgh. They're in Angle's hometown. Everybody knows Angle's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and
So
it was also the whole 9/11 thing. They wanted to
yeah,
like give it to the USA. So
so they painted up on both things there. You got the hometown, then you have
right,
USA.
because he's an Olympic guy. So
Yeah. And the build up to this match was great too. Um, they were just beating the shit out of each other the entire time. They kind of did the kind of a reverse Austin where they were building, Kurt Angle kind of like Austin. Austin did the fucking beer thing, like
yeah. The whole
Angle
and then
in the milk truck.
the what chant turns 20. So there you go.
He throws the gold medals Austin into the fucking, the river, like kind of like the IC belt when the Rock threw it into the river or the World Championship, whatever. Um, Kind of playing up on that a little bit, but the build up to the match was good. The match itself was good. The build up really helped kind of sell this match, especially obviously for people that haven't seen rivalry or haven't been following it.
Well, the build-up, Kurt Angle took the place of Triple H in this whole thing. Because had Triple H not gotten injured, that was going to be the angle. The power team was going to split, and Triple H was going to be on the WWF side, going up against Steve Austin, who was going to be the heel, and Triple H was going to be the good guy. And it's like, yo, I wouldn't fucking be cheering for Triple H. No way.
Thank God they did not.
Yeah, it worked better with Angle. Angle and Austin had really good chemistry. And it kind of catapulted Angle because Austin would be leaving soon. So.
Yeah. And Angle was kind of the big guy for the next couple of years, kind of carrying the company a little bit as their kind of secondary, kind of heel top guy almost. So, I mean,
Well, yeah.
Till 2001, 2006, 7, whatever, ECW. It was great. You know, you got to see Angle in a more brawling kind of. He went to Austin's level kind of on this match. You know, he went to brawling type of style. He did not. There was no fucking, you know, takedowns, wrestling, or double leg or anything crazy like that. Like he was just straight beating the shit out of Austin, and he kind of did. You know, he used some of his wrestling stuff kind of to get the upper hand a little bit, but.
They interviewed his family at ringside during the show and all that stuff.
Austin out of nowhere, of course, as we talked about the whole night, the theme of the eye for some reason.
His eye got cut up. So you had 4 people on this show who cut their eyes. What the fuck is going on around here?
And then I think fucking Christian had like, I don't know, his chin or something got cut because his like beard was bleeding.
I don't know.
So it was like...
His beard was probably bleeding because Edge's eye was bleeding on him.
Yeah, it was just weird. Everybody's just fucking getting cut up, beat up, fucking right ear in their face.
Yeah, everyone got fucked up.
Yeah, and they were just wrestling regular matches. Not all the matches had like weapons and stuff. Obviously the Chris Jericho one did have matches, but none of the injuries came from the weapons. They all came from like Jericho kicking fucking RVD or RVD kicking Jericho and fucking splitting his eye and shit. And I think fucking Edge sliced his eye on.
Fucking, I don't know what the hell was going on tonight. Everyone's poking their dicks in their eyes.
Yeah.
So listen.
Had a deep ass cut too. Like you could literally see, like, you know.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So we got a request to do this, and we're gonna do it, and I'm gonna put it in the chat right now. Not in the chat. On your screen right now. Someone in the chat room said, hey, you should put a mask on those Austin faces. Well, we did. So, boom. There you go.
Crazy.
That's funny. Now, there was a CGI fucking 3-headed Austin on this entire show. And it was horrible. It wasn't just this photo. It was... They actually spent money to get a CGI image of this.
It's literally...
What were they thinking with that?
The center screen the entire night. It's just fucking there rotating. Like some fucking...
And in between the matches, it would do that too.
Yeah. Like the Mortal Kombat level. The fucking Soul Pit or whatever. The fucking faces. Fucking... It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like, why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah. They should have did something better. It's literally just Austin's face.
I forgot who asked us to do this, but I did it anyway.
Yeah, just a weird picture for the DVD box poster and all that.
It's on the... I have the DVD.
Yeah.
It's on the fucking front cover.
It literally should have just been like Austin and Angle like facing off or whatever.
I don't know. You know what I used to miss? What I miss now is cable used to mail you a pamphlet with the pay-per-view for like that month. Mm-hmm. And they would have the WCW poster in it, the WWF poster, and ECW stuff. I miss those. Those were cool. You get them in the mail and you see what the next poster is for the next month.
Yeah, it was dope.
So, well, I don't know if we have any questions in the chat room about the show. If not, we'll wait about a minute or so, and then we'll sign off. But great show. Next pay-per-view. We're not going to cover Insurrection 2001 because I didn't see that.
Maybe on pay-per-view here.
No, it was not on pay-per-view here, but it was released on VHS over here. The next pay-per-view we'll be covering is No Mercy.
No Mercy.
Which had that fucking... didn't that have the Triple X theme song? The Vin Diesel movie?
I don't remember what the theme
Was it Adrenaline? Wasn't that the song for the show?
Adrenaline, yeah, I think.
Yeah, all right. October 21st, 2021 is when we will be back next with No Mercy, which aired October 21st, 2001.
Click, click, boom.
Man, those buy rates. Those buy rates are dropping. It was still the hottest time in wrestling, and the buy rates are dropping.
Click, click, boom was the theme song by Saliva or Salvia, whatever the fuck.
For this pay-per-view?
For No Mercy, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think Click Click Boom was fucking No Mercy 2002.
No, it's
Sure about that?
Oh, it says 2001. It's got Angle with the fucking American flag behind him.
I guess. I don't know. I have it on my hard drive, but I don't want to play it on here and get in trouble.
They used that song a few times though, like at a couple pay-per-views, so I wouldn't be surprised if
We got enough coverage of what happened after Insurrection. What happened? What happened after Insurrection 2001? If something happened, I don't think I know.
it wasn't the plane ride from hell.
No, Plane Ride from Hell was 2002.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that 2002 that was Rebellion too, so I don't think they did.
It was Click Click Boom. What? I thought it was that Adrenaline song. Oh, well, never mind. That must have been another pay-per-view, but I know they definitely used it. Oh, wait, that was the following year. Yeah, right, okay. So I think we're going to end it here, and we'll be back next month, October 21st. Talk about No Mercy. We'll cover that. Again, if you want current wrestling news, every Thursday on YouTube, M3 TV's YouTube channel, Rock Solid Wrestling Talk. I got that. Okay. It just takes me a while. Because then I say the Rock Solid. It's Rock Solid Wrestling Talk with Jesus. And the guys, Smarcus Johnson and Ken Cornett. So there you go. Subscribe over there today. And every Thursday you're going to get a wrestling report.
Hell yeah.
Something we used to do, but we cut that out. So now we do anniversaries and shit like that.
I
So
love how all you guys y'all watch everything pretty.
I still gotta watch the show. I was friggin' sleeping all day today. But yeah, no, these guys are the real deal. They know what they're talking about. And you don't have to hear me screaming and yelling about wrestling. Like, these guys take care of everything. And they're not screaming and yelling. But they get to the point. So
Great show.
check that out. Hopefully they get me a banner at some point so I can stick it in the corner of the screen. Will there be a game stream after this? I don't know. I had to eat food. Stay tuned. Yeah, I gotta eat food. So maybe there will be. I don't know. But everyone out there, take care, stay safe, and we will catch you all next month for No Mercy.